Hey there, this is Jennifer Terri. I make Philippine travel updates. In today's video, we will address the question, is a negative COVID test result required before travel to the Philippines? Yan yung tanong na always tinatanong sa akin. It's one of the most common questions by OFWs, balikbayans, and foreigners traveling to the Philippines. Well, that question will be addressed. There is a change, guys, that affects you, international travelers, in a certain airport, and that is Cebu. You may already know that Cebu is facing a surge in COVID-19 cases, and Cebu is on strict quarantine measures. Cebu City, in fact, is on MECQ. That's the second strictest quarantine lockdown in the Philippines. As you can see here, Cebu cases is nothing like before. This is the highest they have ever seen, guys. Anyways, in response to this, Governor Gwen issued Executive Order Number 40, titled, Regulating the Entry of All Persons Entering the Province of Cebu Through All Airports. Alright, so this was posted today by the Cebu Provincial Government. Governor Gwen hasn't made her live talk to the people about this yet, but this is already official, guys. Let's read the Executive Order Number 40, Section 1. All persons, apor or non-apor, domestic or international airports entering the province of Cebu, the Mactan Airport, through any airport shall be required to present either a negative RT-PCR test result taken within the last 72 hours or a negative antigen test result taken within the last 48 hours. Okay, guys, all travelers entering Cebu will be required to present a negative COVID test result, either RT-PCR or antigen test. For RT-PCR, 72 hours. For antigen test, 48 hours. It didn't mention about whether you're fully vaccinated, you're exempted. No, it means if you're fully vaccinated, you still need to present a negative COVID test result. It also doesn't say about those who recently recovered from COVID. No. So it means you are also required to present a negative COVID test result if you're entering the Philippines through the Cebu Airport. And it didn't mention about age. You know, in other countries, there are exemptions for children. Let's say if you're under 5 or if you're under 2, you're exempted from the negative COVID test requirement. Well, that's not the case in the Philippines. We already know that even children are tested upon arrival on the 7th day. Okay? So this order of Governor Gwen does not say anything about age requirements. So we can say that all ages, it applies to all ages. If in transit and the validity of your RT-PCR test result or rapid antigen test result lapses, lumampas, concerned persons shall be required to take an antigen test upon arrival in Cebu at the expense of the holder of the said test result. And another thing is, it does not apply to those who are already in Cebu. Section 2, Inter-LGU Travel. Persons traveling to and from local government units within Cebu Island shall not be required to comply with this requirement. This requirement, guys, of having a negative COVID test result when entering through Cebu or transiting through Cebu airports shall take effect August 18, 12:01 a.m. So that's 2 days from now. Less than 2 days, parang 1 day. But it's not only Cebu Airport that requires negative COVID test result. How about Manila? How about Clark? Let's start with Lawag. Lawag Airport has opened up to international arrivals. They are handling Philippine Airlines flights, no? We have to thank Philippine Airlines, guys. It's actually Philippine Airlines that tapped Subic, Lawag, and Davao that, hey, let's open up these airports because we have so many kababayans who need to come home. So, hindi po natin kalaban yung Philippine Airlines. Although, marami tayong problema sa cancellation, sa refunds. Yung Philippine Airlines, they want to fly Filipinos home po. But anyways, other airports that require a negative COVID test result is Lawag. So, Lawag mostly caters for repatriations, usually flights coming from Middle East, no OFWs. So in compliance with the provincial government of Ilocos Norte, pre-flight COVID-19 testing is required. A negative antigen or RT-PCR test result showing the date of specimen extraction was not made more than 48 hours prior to scheduled time of departure. The test result must be presented upon check-in and upon arrival in Lawag. Okay guys, if maglaland po kayo sa Lawag Airport, kailangan ng 48 hours antigen or RT-PCR negative test result. Next, so for example, if your flight is on August 20, 10 a.m., magpa-test na kayo August 18, 11 a.m. That's the earliest, guys, ha? August 18, 11 a.m. So, 2 days before your flight. Okay? And then, you have to choose choose a testing lab that will release your result within 48 hours or much better within 24 hours para pasok kayo at wala na kayong iisipin pa. If your test yields a positive result, guys, it's up to you if you want to take another test. It has happened, no? Actually nga, share ko lang, guys, ha? Si Sharon Cuneta nga, guys, Philippines to US, nag-positive. Hindi siya makapaniwala dahil wala siyang symptoms. Ay, nagpa-test si Megastar sa sobra, I think more than 5 laboratories, no? Walang connection, talagang honest lang daw. At saka negative. Diba? So, RT-PCR test is not perfect. May mga din, false positives. I mean, if you have the money naman, if you have the resources, mas maganda ding magpa-retest if you think na wala ka namang symptoms, especially if you're fully vaccinated, no? But anyways, balik tayo sa topic. Another airport that requires a negative COVID test result is Davao. So, Davao po has opened to international flights as well. They cater mostly itong Malaysia at saka yung mga repatriation flights. Davao requires a negative COVID test result that is 72 hours prior to arrival in Davao. That's RT-PCR test result po. Our kababayan May shared she flew with Philippine Airlines Kuala Lumpur to Davao direct flight. Her test result was checked. So ito si kababayan natin, si May, hindi siya naabutan ng travel ban, guys. So how about Manila, Clark, Subic? Do they require a negative COVID test result? Do these airports require a negative COVID test result? No, they don't require, guys. But you could still be subjected to a negative COVID test result test before travel if your airline or transit country requires it. Okay, guys? So, for example, Clark, you fly with Singapore Airlines. Okay, you have a layover in Singapore. Singapore requires a negative COVID test result. So yan, even if landing in Clark, you would still need a negative COVID test result because your layover country requires it. So it depends, guys, ha, sa airline at layover country mo. So please coordinate with your airline. Contact din pag may time to make sure that they don't require. Always check, guys, because you know, with the times right now, especially with the Delta variants, it's hitting a lot of countries in the world. You know, even countries na noon ay COVID success countries like example ko na dan Australia. Wala na talaga kaming lockdown, guys, as in like normal na normal. Ay, Delta variant happened and oh boy, they've been on lockdown for almost 2 months now. So anyways, guys, just always stay updated. No, always check with the website of your airline. Baka nagbago na yung requirements. The other exemption, guys, for those coming from the travel restricted countries, India, Malaysia, Thailand, UAE, Pakistan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, those countries, regardless of the country of origin, regardless of airport, regardless of whatever, you need to present a negative COVID test result 48 hours, taken 48 hours before departure. Talagang kailangan yan. It's non-negotiable. Speaking of travel restriction, our kababayan shared today another easy way, guys, para sa mga kababayan natin na yung gusto mag-avail ng special commercial flight, especially sa UAE. Kung meron po kayong existing flight, our kababayan share Juwan. Hi mga kababayan, update lang po ako regarding Emirates Airlines. Tinawagan ko po yung call center nila para magpa-rebook to special flights and luckily, na-rebook na po yung tickets namin instead of August 30, Dubai to Clark, naging August 19, Dubai to Manila na po siya without any charges. That's awesome. So, our kababayan shared the number. Habaan yung pasensya kasi medyo matagal yung pagsagot. And dahil kulang daw yung credits niya to call, sinabihan niya yung travel agent to call her back kung naubos yung load. At ginawa naman ng travel agent. So, good job, Emirates Airlines. So, itry nyo din yan, guys, kung meron kayong existing flight or meron kayong travel refund, ganun, with Emirates Airlines. Or even with other airlines, try nyo lang. Wala namang mawawala, diba? And speaking of OFWs, no, OWA's funds are just enough to cover until middle of September. 1 month na lang. 1 month na lang yung pera ng OWA. Remember before, they needed 9 billion, pero ang binigay lang ng government natin is 5 billion. Kaya, talagang mas early siya naubos. Especially that the quarantine days was extended last May to 10 days, diba? Even with green lanes. What's green lanes? Yung mga countries. What countries are included in green lanes that has a lot of Filipinos? Hong Kong. But Hong Kong also has very strict entry restriction. Kaya marami tayong kababayan na hindi na umuwi. Singapore. Kaya lang hindi na green lanes ngayon. Parang yun lang. Di ba na makakunti? Kaya talagang wala masyadong help yung green lanes. Secretary Bello has requested from the national government a supplemental budget of 7.5 billion to cover the expenses for the rest of the year. This 7.5 billion covers food, transport, and hotel quarantine accommodation. According to Secretary Bello, 70% ng fund nila will go to hotel quarantine facilities. Ay naku, grabe. It's been a roller coaster ride with this OWA, no OWA funds. Deplete, naubos, replenish, binigyan na naman, hanggang ngayon, nauubos na naman. Earlier this month, a Dole official appealed to unpaid quarantine hotels for understanding. Kasi nadadelay na yung bayad. Dole official has asked the understanding of quarantine hotels that have been waiting on the OWA payments in connection with the services they rendered to repatriated Filipino workers. This has been confirmed through reports that some hotels and accommodation facilities have already stopped functioning as quarantine hotels over the delayed payments of OWA. Yan talaga, guys. At moving forward, the Philippines has confirmed yesterday the first case of Lambda COVID-19 variant. Hi, bad news, guys, because this case is not coming from international traveler. No, it's a local case. So you already know. It's already here in the Philippines. So as you can see, COVID-19 cases are really, really high in the Philippines. It's higher than ever before. Yes, the one that we are experiencing right now, it's worse than before. So please, if you're coming to the Philippines, get vaccinated before coming here. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't done so, and God bless you. Bye!